welcome to Eat Nutrition YouTube channel. So today I will be making a very special and traditional Bulgarian loaf which my grandma used to make, and I absolutely used to love every time when I used to go and see her. And it's a very special international evening at my kids' school. So everyone has been asked to bring, a traditional dish from their country. So this is what I will be making today, and it's called Tutmanik, and trust me, it is freaking awesome. So I'm going to show you all the ingredients that you're going to need. So what you need is about 500-700 grams of flour. You will need about half a pack of butter. I always go for Kerrygold. Kerrygold is the best butter that has ever been created, and is still made out of milk from grass-fed cows, and is so super delicious. You would need 1 cup of milk. You would also need a teaspoon of soda. You would need 1 sachet of yeast. You would need 3 eggs. You would also need some feta cheese. This is actually a new cheese that I've been trying. It says it's Bulgarian style, I think. It's not, it's supposed to be Bulgarian, but I'm not quite sure whether it is. And you will need a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to show you step-by-steps of what you need. So in here, I've already got the dissolved yeast with a tablespoon of sugar. Actually, I forgot to mention earlier on in the ingredients that you will need sugar. And you just dissolve that in a little bit of water. My little bit of water ended up being 1 cup, just because I didn't measure it properly. Anyhow, so that might mean that I will have to actually reduce the quantity of milk, or I will simply just add a little bit more flour to make the dough, with the right consistency. So here already I have the 500 grams of flour, and I also have the teaspoon of soda and also the teaspoon of salt in. So I'm adding the 3 eggs to the flour. So basically you just put everything together apart from the butter. The butter you would need, and the cheese, you would need that for later. I'm using a fork just because it's easier to mix right now. And I'm also adding the water, and I'll see what the consistency of the dough is, and then I'm going to add the milk after that. So here is the dough that has risen like twice its size, and here is the cheese that I'm just mashing with a fork. And here, you honestly, I would always suggest, like, go with how you feel. I prefer it with, you know, a lot more cheese in it. You just makes it so much nicer. Just gives it, you know, just completely different taste. And make sure that, you know, there are no big pieces. Just mash it as much as you can. So also here I've got the melted butter that I'm going to use, and this is the pan that I'm going to use for it. So now the thing is that you would have to separate the dough into like 3 equal pieces. So you're going to use the butter just to you know, grease the pan everywhere. And the key, my grandma always used to say, like, the greasier the better. But you know, it does actually give it so much of a nicer flavor when it's you know, when it has a lot more butter. I think butter is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to dust some flour here on the surface. I've actually run out of white flour and I'm using some wholemeal. The thing is, my grandma always used to make it with white flour. We didn't have wholemeal flour at the time. And I'm getting, like, you know, see, now you can see the dough and how it's risen. So I'm going to take about 1/3 of it apart. And here I'm just going to stretch it. That's all you have to do. You don't need a rolling pin. You just use your hands to stretch it. And just stretch it as much as you can. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, oh, this is, I think it has risen so well. This is coming into, okay. Okay, so you are going to put some butter on top of it. And use cheese. And just put cheese on top. Okay, and now you're going to add another layer of dough on top. If you can pull it. And I'm going to add some flour to my hands, just because it's a little bit, now when the dough rises, it usually becomes a little bit stickier. Or maybe my flour wasn't enough to start with, I don't know. Anyhow, so I'm going to add some, and I'm actually stretching it in my hands here to make it, you know, roughly the same size as the one underneath. And this is very rough. You don't have to be, like, you can see this one underneath is a completely weird shape as it is. And then you simply put it on top and you just try to match it. That's it. And then you continue with the same process. You just put butter on top, put more feta cheese until you've run out of dough, basically. So here is what the final shape looks like, and I've put this in the pan that I'm going to bake it in, and I'm going to add again like loads and loads of butter on top. And you would have to allow it to rise. That's why I've put it kind of in the middle, and you have to let it rise for about another hour or so. You know, the whole rising process, you know, does take a little bit more time, but the end result is oh so worth it. It's been about an hour since I've covered it, and here is what it looks like. So it's almost doubled in size, and that's gonna go into a preheated oven for about 40 minutes. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, you will need 1 egg yolk beaten, and you just have to brush the top of the bread, and just use everything, and that's gonna make it really nice and crispy on the outside and really soft and cheesy on the inside. So once that's done, this is going in the oven, and I'm using a fan assisted oven, and it's been preheated to 180 degrees. So you just have to be careful, you know, watch it not to burn. If it starts getting a little bit like too much on the inside, just cover it with foil and continue to cook it if it's still uncooked on the inside. It's in the oven, and it's fan assisted 180 degrees, and let's wait and see. Can't wait to show you. I actually haven't made this in a long time. Wow, look at that. Doesn't it look amazing? Okay, so I'm just going to see how it is. Wow, it's actually coming out pretty cool. Oh, and this is so crispy. That's it. I think it's actually done. Yeah, maybe in about another 2-3 minutes now. I think it's actually done. Yes, that's it. It's done. And now that it's done, I'm just going to sprinkle it with some water. Don't ask me why. I actually have no idea, but this is a very old tradition. Maybe there is a reason behind it. Just like a few sprinkles. And now I'm going to cover it with a towel again and leave it for about, you know, just 15 minutes like that. And then I'm going to transfer it to a plate. The final result, I mean, you can see how soft it is, and unfortunately I can't tear it because I am taking it to the international evening, but just give you a little bit of an insight. I mean, it's very what's the word, like crusty, and it's oh my gosh, this is amazing, honestly guys, this is so tasty. So let me know if you try it, and I'd love to see your pictures. Make sure you tag me on them. Thank you, bye. The bottom crust is actually the most delicious thing. So, oh, I can't wait to try it.